everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today I have another video for you all that is Halloween themed. So I put together my spooky Halloween movie list for this year, and I actually decided to split this into two separate videos. So today I'm going to be going through my non-scary Halloween movie list. So this is more geared towards Halloween family fun and not actual horror or scary movies. So I have 13 picks for you of my not so scary Halloween movies. But before we get started, please make sure you hit the subscribe button below and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of my spooky uploads. So without further ado, let's get into my not so scary Halloween movie list. So number one, I have Halloween Town, and this is a Disney movie from 1998. And it's one of those ones that is absolutely just warm and cheesy and snuggly, and it's just something that you'd like to snuggle up and watch on a Sunday afternoon when you're in the Halloween spirit. So I'm not going to get into much of the synopses of these movies because I think most people already know about them, but I just want to give you a little bit of an overview and why I love it so much. So this is about Marnie and her siblings who find out about a wonderful place called Halloween Town where their grandmother lives as a witch. And again, this is just cheesy and it's warm, fuzzy fun. And this is something that I like to kick off my Halloween season with, especially if I'm watching it with other people who don't really like scary movies, or children of course. And it just has all of those wonderful family type tropes. So number two on my list, of course, is Hocus Pocus. So this is kind of a funny one because when Hocus Pocus first came out in the theaters, it actually wasn't a very big hit. But over the years, it has become a real cult classic. And I think it's more popular now in the past 5 years or so than it has ever been. I remember watching it when it very first came out in 1993. I had rented it out. And of course, everybody loved it back then. I mean, Bette Midler as Winifred Sanderson was iconic. But it's not to the level that it is now. And again, it's one of those cozy sort of movies that has a musical number, and it, you know, ultimately it's about a brother's love for his sister. And Hocus Pocus really is anything that kids and adults alike can enjoy. So number three is Nightmare Before Christmas, and this is another one that has become a real cult classic. I actually watched this movie when it very first came out in the theater, and again, it you know, was pretty popular back then, but it has really garnered a following, I think, kind of as Tim Burton has gotten a lot more mainstream and has gotten a lot more movies under his belt. And this is one that I just love the creativity. The stop motion animation is spectacular in this, but also the creativity of the characters themselves and how the characters are developed is, it's macabre and it's spooky and kind of twisted, but it's endearing, and you know, it's just wonderful. And of course, the music just puts it completely over the top. Why there's no Broadway show of Nightmare Before Christmas, I can't figure it out. Have they ever done anything on Broadway with this? I'm not sure, but I definitely would go see it on Broadway if it ever came out, that's for sure. Number four on my list is It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. And I think with this one, it's just a lot of nostalgic feelings. It reminds me a lot of my childhood. This, of course, used to come on TV every single year, and you know, Charlie Brown was really big back then in both comics and in, you know, his TV specials. So this one is really nostalgic, and what I'm finding is a lot of people that are now my age that have kids of their own, they're going back and watching a lot of these nostalgic movies that they watched growing up. And of course, I mean, you can't beat Charlie and Snoopy and Lucy and the whole gang. And this is when we really get to see Snoopy as his Red Baron counterpart. And I think another reason why I love this so much is because my high school, the sports teams were actually known as the Barons. We were the Bishop's Barons, and our mascot was Snoopy, which I absolutely loved. So this is a very, very nostalgic pick for me. Number 5 on the list is another nostalgic pick. It is Garfields Halloween. I love all of Garfield's holiday specials, and I remember watching this one on TV, and when Garfield and Odie get to the old haunted house and meet the spooky old man, I mean, as a kid, that absolutely terrified me. And I think with this one as well, it's the same thing with the Charlie Brown pick, that a lot of people that are my age that watched this growing up are now enjoying it with their own kids. And this is actually one that I save for Halloween itself. I always watch this one and the Charlie Brown Halloween on Halloween Day, as well as my spooky picks for later on in the evening. But this is something that is just so nostalgic for me. Number 6 is Dracula, Dead and Loving It. And I remember watching this one when I was younger and just thinking it was the most hilarious spoof I had ever seen of Dracula. This is actually my favorite Dracula movie. I had mentioned in another video that Dracula was one of the first spooky movies that I had ever watched, and this one was a great follow-up to it. Any of Mel Brooks' spoof movies I loved when I was younger, and this is one that can be enjoyed by adults who are not really in a spooky mood. So I mean, this list is not really geared towards just children, but also adults who want to watch something that's a little bit Halloween-y but doesn't have the deep scary aspects to it. So this one is one of the only comedy movies I think that'll ever be on my lists. But having said that, this is an absolute gem. Number 7 is a little bit of a non-mainstream pick. This is My Boyfriend's Back. This is about a young man who is shot and killed, and he comes back as a zombie, basically. And so it follows Johnny Dingle as he tries to navigate the world as a zombie, and he actually starts to fall apart. He's trying to get the girl of his dreams to go to the prom with him, but he just keeps falling to pieces. So they're trying to figure out how to keep Johnny alive and how to make sure that he gets to take his love to the prom. And again here, this is geared towards a little bit more of an older audience, but it is just absolutely fantastic. I wanted to make sure to keep a couple of selections on my list that are not going to be on everybody else's. And I remember when this movie first came out, I watched it over and over and over. It's actually a little bit hard to find now. You can buy it on Amazon, but it's a little bit expensive for what it is. They do also have it on iTunes where you can rent, and I actually rented it a few weeks ago, and it was just as good as I remember when I was younger. Number 8, of course, is the Addams Family, and I mean, I'm pretty sure this is gonna make it on most people's Halloween list. But for me, I think this is, as a kid, this was like an ideal family unit. You've got Gomez and Morticia, who are just 100% in love. The entire family is spooky. It's funny. And then you have Wednesday with her dry sense of humor. And I mean, I think every kid who was an inner goth when they were really little wished that they could be Wednesday Addams. So you can't really get much better than this one. Number 9, I put Practical Magic. I don't watch a whole lot of rom-coms or drama type movies that are set in modern day, but this movie I found was really endearing, and I think the two things that I really loved was, one, of course, because it has witches as the protagonist, and of course I am a witch myself, But I also absolutely love the dynamic with the aunts. They are my absolute favorite characters in this movie, and as I get older, I think I'm really starting to turn into one of those old crones that just doesn't give a crap about what people think. So I put this one on my list just for the characters of the aunts alone. Number 10 on my list is Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. And again here, as with I talked about in A Nightmare Before Christmas, I just love the creativity of this, of the characters and the music. And you know, it's a winning combination when you've got Johnny Depp, Tim Burton, and Danny Elfman all in the same film. It's just one of those things that just works, and this is one that can be enjoyed by the whole family. This is very much a Sunday evening, sitting in front of the TV in your pajamas with the whole family, and just something to enjoy. I think there's something to enjoy in this one for everyone. Number 11 is Disney's Haunted Mansion. So this one is one of my lesser favorites, but it is still very, very endearing, and of course it has all of the great Disney tropes. Although this family is dealing with a haunted mansion, it is very cutesy. Even the ghosts and, you know, the singing bust forms and stuff like that, it's very creepy cute, and is a great choice for your kids to watch without having to worry that they're gonna get too scared. Besides it being creepy cute, of course you're dealing with a lot of family fuzzy feelings, and you know, at the end this family is brought together a little bit more than they ever have been after experiencing this haunted mansion together. So that's why I put this one on this list. Number 12 is Beetlejuice, and this one is kind of in between that, you know, not spooky but spooky, because of course some sections in this movie can be a little bit spooky for younger kids, but at the same time it's absolutely hilarious, and you can't get any better than the casting, I think, in this movie. The characters alone and the way that this was cast, I think, is the thing that I love the most about it. And Winona Ryder as Lydia Deetz is just the quintessential goth teen, and then you have, you know, these ghosts that aren't really spooky at all, that are trying to figure out what they're doing, and then of course Beetlejuice just being a nuisance. So this one is a little bit in between, so probably for older kids and adults alike. And this is another one who people my age enjoyed it when they were younger and are now sitting down and watching it with their own families. And last but not least, number 13, I have Casper, and this is the one with Christina Ricci. And again, here we have a family who moves into a haunted house, but the haunting is not a scary haunting. You have ghosts that are friendly and ghosts that are funny, and you have just a father and daughter who are trying to navigate the world after the death of the mother. And of course we have the characters of Kat and Casper who are trying to understand death and figure out what's going on. So I think this movie is really good because it kind of explores those questions a little bit, and of course it's endearing and it's lovely, and everyone is happy at the end. So there you have it. There are my 13 Halloween not so spooky choices. So I'm going to be watching all of these early in the season and just enjoying the light, spooky, and creepy cute ambiance of these films. So please join me next time when I talk about my top 13 scary Halloween movie recommendations. Please make sure to hit the like button below and comment and let me know what's your favorite creepy cute Halloween movie. I'd really love to know, and we'll chat about it down in the comments. Until next time, keep it spooky, guys. Bye!